Hey everybody, today we're going to be covering how to rebuild a base full of troops as quickly as possible. So to do this, we're going to have to do a little bit of pretending, and we're going to pretend that Shamu parked his big dorsal fin all over your base, and he ate up all your troops like they were little fishies. So what that means is you now have a bunch of wounded troops, you have a bunch of different level troops, etc. So first thing you want to do is always make sure you have enough troops to gather. Doesn't matter what level they are, just make sure you have the quantity. You can fix that towards the end of this process or in the middle, wherever you feel necessary. The next thing you need to do is you need to absolutely fill your base with as many barracks or air bases, depending on if you're trying to rebuild your army or your air force, and then as many shipyards as you can. With how I do it, I max out my army, and I'm not too concerned about building my planes back right away, so I don't worry about those. And then my shipyards, I let my Caruso rebuild those as quickly as possible. If I did want it to go even faster, I could build as many shipyards as am able to, and also do those for this process. But we'll just work with army just to kind of show you how this works. So once you have as many barracks as you can, you build. So right now I have to work through my Caruso, and you'll see there's not enough room around. So what happens is once you run out of room, you start deleting them. And me knowing already ahead of time that I'm going to need more room, I'm going to keep building. And since I have level 81 troops, I just remember that I can combine mine. So what's now going to happen is now that I'm at 10 out of 10, I'm going to build one troop queued into each barracks. What that does is that means that you are building the most efficient way possible. And that is because when you are building one at a time, you are only taking 10 hours. If you build 5 at a time, it's going to take, at least for me, it takes 50 hours. But it's not all working at the same time. So for each barracks that I have built, I'm building 1 at 10. If I'm building 4 troops in that barrack, I'm actually building 4 troops at 10 instead of having 1 barracks building 10. So essentially what you're doing is you're exponentially increasing how fast you build your troops back. So you just keep going and you keep doing this process until your base is full. Now, once you've built all your troops to train, as you guys can see, I have a little gap here. I'll take care of that later. But you will want to click on one of your troops that's training and hit the little fast forward button. This requires a little bit of math to do it, but so what you do is you click here, look at how long your training time is. Once you figure out how long your initial training time is, you will want to flip over to the training base skin if you have it. And once it's equipped, you can look and see the difference in time. So for me, once I equip my training base skin, it's 45 minutes less than my initial time. So what that allows me to do is flip back to whatever skin I need, and then you will take that and you'll go, okay, I had 10 hours minus 45 hours or 45 minutes. So in 9 hours and 15 minutes, I'm going to set an alarm for that. And I'm going to come back to the game and I'm going to equip that training base skin, and it's actually going to take that 45 minutes off of the time. So I can't do this live because it will show you guys my UID, and I don't like to show that on camera. But basically, the system still registers that it took the full 10 hours. Once you equip your training base skin, which is a training boost, it also takes off the 45 minutes still, so, or however long it is for you. So essentially you can save yourself a little bit of time at the end of each training for each troop and be able to rebuild that much faster. So you might not think 45 minutes is a lot, but when you think 45 minutes times however many hundreds of troops you're building a time, then you will definitely see the benefit of how quickly it helps, or how much it helps, sorry. So that's kind of the quick way to rebuild your base. Some other things, do's and don'ts. don't go into your units and click these and use these to rebuild your base after you're not in the middle of a fight. Save those for when you're in a fight. Don't sit and build 5 at a time, so don't do this. This is bad. You're wasting time doing this. Yes, it's nice because you don't have to sit there and click over and over again, but it's also a drag because you're now sitting there with 5 troops queued, but only one's building at a time. Whereas if you did that across multiple barracks, this builds faster. Don't come in here and hit this little green button on the army training and mass build after server to server, because that's going to max out your queues until the base is full or until each barracks or air force has 5 troops building. Some other things, you can kind of mix things up. So I do all my Caruso with my Navy base and my Air Force. Then I do all the quick training like this with my barracks. Usually my army is done within a day or two. I've been saving it after service so you guys could see it. I also was able to combine my troops to 81, so that's adding a little bit of extra time because now you have to build 80s to get 81s. But I'll tell you, when I did a full base of 80s, it usually took about a day or two. And my Caruso plus my 10 extra troops from my training base is 10. There also is a commander statue that randomly gives me a free troop. If anybody knows what deco that is, that'd be great to share. I've looked through all my deco and I can't figure out which one it is, or if it's VIP or something that I don't know about. But it'd be great if somebody can share that. Other than that, that's kind of what it takes to rebuild your base fast. So what you'll do now is, as you're doing this, delete these barracks as you need more space, but still keep building one at a time until you have maxed out. So right now you'll see I'll quickly build a few more of these and I'll build those in. Another thing you can do, I forgot to mention this at the beginning, if you click and hold on any of your troops that are in the base, you'll see in the far right corner here, this little guy, that actually is a reorganization button. So what that will do is that will reorganize all your troops down to that slot, and it'll pull the tightest formation it can. I'm going to do it over here, see if I can pull some and get you so you guys can see the bigger gap. So you'll see it pulled a bunch from that spot over there. It's not always perfect. Sometimes you have to do it a couple times in different spots to get it to make the gap that you're looking for. But it definitely is helpful when you have troops scattered all over your base to be able to just pull them all into one direction and allow you to build troops. So with that, please share this. Server tourney is coming up, so definitely going to be a helpful tip for people to know how to rebuild quickly, especially if we're having the tournament every weekend like we did last time. So please like and subscribe if you enjoy this, and see ya.